All right, boys and girls, I am going to go over your Unit 1 study guide with you and make a video key for you so that you can double check your answers. Please don't copy straight from this video. Try your best to attempt the problem on your own first and then double check your answers, okay? So this says Polygon 2 is a scaled copy of Polygon 1. Here's Polygon 2, here's Polygon 1. They are scaled copies. Select true or false for each statement. This says, number 1, segment IJ corresponds to TS. So I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to go over IJ. TS. Now, some of you all might be like, well, they're in the same spot, but remember, we're worried about the order of the line segment. So here I started with IJ, and then in my Polygon 2, I'm talking about TS. I am going to circle false for this because the order IJ needs to be followed. It really, if I want to make it true, this should be ST. This would make it true, but because it says TS, that order is not correct, so we're going to mark false. Number 2 says segment HG. HG is half the length of segment RQ. Now let's look at these. I notice that this is 2 units and this is 1 unit. Is 2 half of 1? No, 2 is not half of 1, so this is false. Had these segments been flipped, this would be true because RS is in fact half of HG. But because it's saying HG is half of RQ, this is false. And number 3, the measure of angle DEF is twice as big as angle NOP. So I know I'm talking about corresponding angles here. And remember, this is making a right angle, and so is this. So DEF is not twice as big as NOP. Remember, our angles are the same measure in scaled copies. So if this is 90 degrees, this also has to be 90 degrees. Okay, question 4 says, create a scaled copy of ABCD using a scale factor of 3. I'm going to underline this right here, and I want you to label your new side lengths. The first thing that I am going to do is label my side lengths in my original, so I'm going to count the boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the base, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the leg at the top. And now I am going to look for a pattern here. I notice that I'm going up 3 and over 1. So my pattern to go from corner to corner is up 3 over 1. Right here, my pattern is to go down 3 over 1. So remember, I'm going to follow that pattern to make my new copy. I'm going to start with my top length, and I'm going to do 6 times 3 to get me a new side length of 18. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now I'm going to follow my pattern. I'm going to go down 3 over 1 because my scale factor is 3. I'm going to do that 3 times. So I'm going to start here at this corner, go down 1, 2, 3 over 1, down 1, 2, 3 over 1, down 1, 2, 3, I went off the grid, but that's okay, over 1. So I'm going to connect this line once, twice, 3 times, and now I have followed that pattern and made it 3 times the size. My base right here is 4, so I'm going to do 4 times 3 and get a new base of 12. I'm sitting right here, so I'm going to count these boxes for you, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I know that my line should be right about here. And again, I use these boxes to count 12. Now I'm going to follow this pattern right here And I know that my pattern is up 3 over 1, so I'm going to go, starting at this corner, up 1, 2, 3 over once, up 1, 2, 3 over once, up 1, 2, 3 over once, and I'm going to connect. And that makes a perfect scale copy using a scale factor of 3. I'm going to label this, and we're done. Okay. Number 5 says a triangle that has a base of 40 inches has been scaled by a factor of 1/2. So here's my scale factor. What is the length of the base in the scaled copy? So remember, when we're working with scale factor, we always multiply. So I'm going to take my original length of 40, and I'm going to multiply it by that fraction 1/2. Do you know what 1/2 of 40 is? If you said 20, you are correct. I'm going to add that unit of measure, 20 inches. Now this says, suppose you want to scale the copy back to its original size. So I'm going to draw you a quick little triangle. I want it to go from 20 back to 40. Remember in class we talked about using those reciprocals. So I just went from 40 to 20 and I multiplied by 1/2. Now I'm going to use the reciprocal here. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to multiply by 2, or 2 over 1 is the same thing, to go from my scaled copy back to the original. Last page here says figure D is a copy of figure C. What is the scale factor from C to D? So I'm going this way. I'm multiplying it by what number to go this way? Now I don't see any matching so far, but when I look up here, I see that these two measurements are in the same spot, so I can compare them because they're corresponding parts. Now, I know that 9 times something is going to get me 4.5. If I don't know what that math is off the top of my head, I'm going to do 4.5 divided by 9. I'm working backwards here. And that is going to get me an answer of 0.5, or 1/2. That means all of my side lengths I can multiply by 1/2, or 0.5, to get my new side lengths. So my scale factor here, I'm going to say 1/2, or 0.5. And then I'm going to find the missing lengths. So if I take 11 and I multiply it by 1/2 in my calculator, that's going to get me an answer of 5.5. If I do 8 and multiply it by 1/2, it's going to give me an answer of 4. And that's all the missing measurements. So I'm going to put a check here because I know I've completed it. And then I'm going to look at the last question. It says find the missing angles, marked with a question. Remember we said angles in scaled copies always stay the same. So if this one is 48, that means this one in the exact same spot is going to be 48. And if this one is 55, that means this one is also going to be 55. And that's it. Okay, make sure you put your name, your class color, and your number, and bring this back so that we can go over it as a class before our test. And let me know if you have any questions.